Hello YouTube, it's Mindbender here, and with the introduction of my first named character in my Prometheus army, Sophia Weber, introduced in my previous video, I mentioned that she is one of the more prominent engineers and pilots for the Prometheus army. She's actually designed and engineered her own personal mech suit, which we saw in the previous video. But I thought it'd be interesting to show off some of the other things she's designed for Prometheus, hence this video and the collage of things you see before you. So the two builds you see, they're repeating, you got 5 things on the turntable, but 2 builds include the Hermes class scouting mech suit, a very, very light, very efficient design for a mech suit that just carries light armor and light weapons for scouting, and the autonomous soldiers, ground troops, right here, completely unmanned, completely droned, absolutely controlled by artificial intelligence, and they're simply referred to as gunbots, named by Sophia herself. She doesn't tend to get too articulate with her names. She likes to keep them simple. So we'll take a look at each of these builds separately, starting with the gunbots. So as you can see, the gunbots are basically exactly what they're described as. They're just very small, simple, ground troop style robots that can carry guns. They don't actually have guns built into them. Those are specific rifles built for their personal use, and they're basically just meant to be just ground troops for missions where maybe regular ground troops would require too much specialized equipment, or just plain too dangerous to send in regular humans. You don't want humans to die, so you send in the robots instead. And these are designed, engineered, and actually programmed by Sophia herself. So they do have some very basic level of personality, but for all intents and purposes, they're basically just drones. Not a terribly complicated build. We'll just look at one. See, I use the 1 by 2 by 2/3 high kind of camera piece for the main torso. The gun was actually my favorite part of this whole thing. It's built around the, I guess that monitor body used in a lot of Lego City fire station, or fire truck sets. And basic articulation, arms go forward and back, legs go forward and back. I guess you can kind of have a waist swivel, but I don't really use it that much because the rest of the robot doesn't move too much, so it usually doesn't look very good. And yeah, like I said, a very simple build, but somehow I find it quite charming. I like. Up next are the not much larger Hermes class mech suits. These were actually originally designed to be a replacement for the Hector armor, the Hector battle armor that I showed off a few videos ago. These were actually meant to replace it, to be a full-formed mech suit that would be small and compact enough to fit indoors. Unfortunately, it ended up not working out to serve that purpose. The mech suit was still deemed too large to serve that purpose. However, because it was so light and so incredibly just quick because of its size, they decided it would still be very useful for scouting, because Prometheus has yet to develop a decent scouting mech until now. So it was deemed Hermes and sent into mass production as a scout. So taking a look here, you can see, let's look at one. It has very, very compact and, in my opinion, quite efficient limbs. I tried to use very, very few pieces in this. The pilot, while being completely protected by the shield, is actually just held in by... He's actually not sitting on anything. He's got this bracket piece around his neck that plugs into the clip there. And that is how he's held into the mech suit. He's actually kind of wearing it more like a backpack. The weapon is just a very compact, suppressed SMG, because this thing really isn't meant for frontline combat. It's meant to observe and report, bring back information, not really engage the enemy. You see around the back, this rolled up detail back here. This is meant to be a survival kit for the pilot for longer scouting missions that maybe last more than a few days, maybe a couple weeks at a time. He's got food, rations, sleeping kit, fire starters, all kinds of survival gear, anything he might need, maybe temporary shelter. So yeah, pretty simple build, but actually what I wanted to point out is just how I really had fun using really just tiny pieces building this. If you pull these side panels off, okay, or just pull half the mech suit off, you can see that it's built around these 1x1 clips and bars, and it's just the whole body is basically the clip and bar system repeated to end up with the full mech, which I've now destroyed. So ta-da! That is the Hermes Scout Mech. Alright guys, until next time, I want to thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you really like this video, feel free to subscribe. I've been Mindbender, and I will talk to you later.